exactly. Now, first of all, I got to say this, Sheldon. For those callers that are on the line right now, if you can be patient, I appreciate your calling in, and we will get to you. I understand what you're talking about because I have a girlfriend named Shanti, and she has very, I mean, she grew up very similarly to what you're explaining right now, and I can really understand what it is that you're talking about. In that frame of reference, I want to ask, how often and for how long were you in these ships that you were being trained in?
I was up there almost daily between about age 3, when I can really start remembering it, to roughly till I told them to leave about 14 or 15. As a matter of fact, my sister and I believe that basically we were really raised on the ships because we spent a lot of time up there, and Earth to us was not a nice place. So every time I'd go up there, I would always ask, "Can I stay?" And they'd say, "You have a mission."
Exactly. And when you went up there into the ships, how long were you there for in this process? I mean,
since they have a time change, I would be up there for like what seemed to me like hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours, and it would only be like an hour or two in Earth time.
Really? Okay. So it was like you were there up there for days, and yet you were only actually gone from here only an hour or two or something like that.
Right, right.
Wow, amazing. And then now the other question I have is the machines. What do they look like? What do they feel like? What do they do?
Well, the first thing that you notice when you enter the ships, of course, is the difference in energies between this planet and the ships. As I said when I was starting this, the ships are totally into love and care and service, so you immediately feel this energy high when you enter. And also, since these beings are of a higher frequency than we are, that's one of the things that they would naturally do. The ship would adjust my body frequencies, and so I would feel the differences. You would feel a lot lighter. You would feel a lot more love energy flowing through you. You would feel a lot more happy. Basically, when I was up there, it was almost impossible for me to be sad or to be upset. You were always in a feeling of bliss, of caring, of being open, of respecting each other, of understanding what this respect was all about, that it was natural and it was coming out of a mutual honoring of each other. So when you went up there, you would feel that. And, of course, when you walked anywhere, the energy of the ship would always meet you. So it felt like you were on clouds. So you never really felt like you were walking on the ground. You felt all the time like you were floating. Everything, of course, was curved. There were no sharp corners whatsoever. And you had light that was very bright but did not harm the eyes. And, of course, you were in constant telepathic position with them. And that is, you were constantly hearing the ship calling and talking to you, and also all the people on the ship talking to you. And because I was on the ship so much, I developed this natural telepathic pattern. So I tended a lot when I was a kid, especially, to not talk, to just use my telepathy to talk for me.
Exactly.
So to me, one of the things that would get me when I would be on the planet after being up there for a long time was that when you communicated to people, they would look at you like something had been violated in them, and they were wondering, they have this funny stare and look at you, or they would disassociate themselves from you. And so because they felt this energy, this telepathy in their heads, and they didn't understand what it was. And it always happened when you were around them. So I had few friends.
And it's funny because you were, a lot of times, and and this is from my experience with talking with Shanti, she said that she would talk to people and she would expect that they would be talking back to you in telepathy, but she did not have any understanding that that's not how people on this earth communicate on a regular pattern basis.
Right.
So is that correct?
Yeah, they talk. The pattern of how we communicate with each other is a lot different, because when you use telepathy, you can bring your inner feelings with your speech, and whereas here you've got to communicate everything by how you talk. You've got to say words in certain things, and so I'm not very good at that.
because it's all part of the same communication process, emotions and feelings and even physical actions and all that is part of the same communication process of telepathy, and yet we've got it all broken down. We haven't learned how to culminate all that process into one form of communication so that instantaneously we understand what's going on with the communication process with each other if we're speaking on that level. Is that correct?
Right, exactly.
Now, I want to say to Wheelchair John, thank you for your being present here now. I understand you've seen ghosts before, and this is not about ghosts, but sometime maybe we'll talk to you. You know, if I do a show on that, maybe we can talk to you about that. So we do have several callers here now, Sheldan, and I apologize if it's taking a little bit because I did want to ask some questions, but we're going to go ahead and go to caller number 1. And then we can go from there and see and just kind of wing it, okay?
Okay.
Aloha. Aloha. Caller number 1. Can you hear us? Okay. Maybe they got a little bit tired. Okay. Caller number 2. Caller number 2. Aloha. Are you there? Aloha. Aloha.
Hello.
Hello. This is Andrew Aloha with Sheldan Nidle off of Spirit Dreams Productions Blog Talk Radio. You're out of Cottonwood. I'm taking. Is that correct?
Cornville.
Cornville. And now I apologize if you can let us know who you are and speak up because we can barely hear you. And then also let us know where you heard of us from.
My name is Dana, and I got your invitation via Facebook.
Oh, okay. Well, welcome, Dana.
Thanks.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm curious on how we are all going to be able to have contact with these beings. I've been waiting for years and years and watching the skies, and I just feel like I've always been dropped off here and waiting for the right timing to know what my mission is.
Now, Sheldan, before you answer this, I want to ask this to Dana. Dana, what do you think that process is from now? What do you expect right now?
I don't have any expectations.
Okay. Sheldan, do you have any answers for her?
Well, as far as contact goes, there's a lot of ships up there, as you probably noticed in the night sky.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing the observation. They're watching us. And what they're waiting for is there's a group on this planet which is called our Earth Allies, which are working to change governments and set up a scenario where they can be formally announced as being people that are not dangerous, they're very benefic, and that they are coming here shortly to have a full first contact with us and just set that process up. So all of that is very close to happening. So just keep going what you're doing. Just look up, just ask, and just be patient and positive, and things will happen very shortly.
Nice. And do you know what kind of time frame that will be, Sheldan?
Well, just let's say it's close. It's soon. We'll just leave it with that.
Dana, what do you think about that?
I think it's great. I know that our time frame and their time frame are totally different.
That's a very good point.
So, you know, what might seem as very long time to us might be very quick in their time, or vice versa.
Right. Well, just know it's close on Earth time, and that's all I can really say about it, because there are certain other variables that are part of this procedure that have to happen first. So let's just say it's very close. Let's say the word they like me to use right now is imminent, so I'll just let me use that phrase.
Nice. Well,
Okay.
Thank you, Dana. Is there another question you want to ask, or are you good with that?
I'm good with that.
Okay. All right. Thank you for stopping by, and when you get a chance, you can stop by again. And if you get a chance to go to the Galactic Gathering in Colorado, maybe that's something you might want to check out. See if you aren't willing to go out there and check that out too.
Yeah, I would love to, but unfortunately I won't be able to.
Okay. Okay, Dana. Thank you. Have a good weekend, and we'll talk to you next time.
All right, thank you.
Aloha.
Aloha.